We've been asking everybody what was the first time they performed in Austin. Do you remember when you first came here?
I think it was the first Moontower a couple of years ago. And then I came back a couple months later and I did Cap City, which is a great comedy club here in Austin. Funny story, was in my hotel that night, one night during the week, watching Battlestar Galactica, the good one, with Edward James Olmos. And someone right outside my hotel room door got shot. So I went up and put the chain on the door and then relaxed.
I think they did switch hotels at Cap City. So
yeah, it was, and
back.
I called and I was like, I called the front desk and I think a guy just got shot. Like, no, I think that's fireworks. I'm like, no, I think a guy just got shot. And then it was a wedding, and you know how people get excited at weddings.
Oh yeah, lots of guns. Everyone in Texas, they like to shoot them up.
Yeah, shooting them up wouldn't have been a problem. It was shooting them parallel. Perpendicular, sorry.
People are drinking, they get confused.
Yeah. The timeless combination of firearms and alcohol. Where would we be without it?
That's Texas for you. Now, I just came, there was a teen open mic that Moontower sponsored. What was teenage Dana like? Would he have done stand-up?
I started at 17,
oh,
so
wow.
yeah, I actually can.
You were ready.
I can feel for that. Yeah, I knew I wanted to be a stand-up at about 14. If I could go back and talk to my 14-year-old self, become an anesthesiologist. It's so easy. The money's great.
Retire early.
Yeah, you get out, 51 and done, bitch. But no, I started at 17. It's unfortunate because you have no idea who you are. You didn't know what you're talking about. Nothing I did in stand-up mattered until I was about 28.
Did you have problems because you were underage getting in? Or
I snuck in, and then I did it in college.
Yeah.
And then when I moved... when I left college, I was at the University of Massachusetts, and then I moved into Boston.
Yeah.
I was very young. I was 21, but I had a car. I didn't drink, and I didn't do cocaine. So everybody wanted to work with me because I would drive. They didn't have to worry about getting home, and they didn't have to worry about sharing their cocaine.
Perfect.
So I worked 5 nights a week.
So good tip for comics starting out. Don't do cocaine.
Straight
and have
edge.
A car.
Right. Yeah. I worked a ton.
What age do you think you were like actually had something important to say?
Well, I thought I had something important to say at 17. I realized at 28 that I didn't, and then I got good.
Do you think it's easier for comics to start younger with like Twitter and like you can just watch any stand-up special you want on the internet?
I mean, it's great. You can learn about stand-up a lot more, and you can be exposed to it a lot more. But, you know, stand-up is an expression, you know, you're trying to communicate something to an audience, and it really depends on what you have to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, and at 17, you're great if your audience is your age. But when you're 17 years old and you're performing in nightclubs to people in their 30s, it's terrible. Take it from me. It's terrible.
Sounds terrible. Now, I know sometimes people try to squeeze comedy into weird places. Do you remember any shows where you're doing comedy somewhere and you're like, there should not be stand-up
Oh,
here?
yeah, in San Francisco, when I lived there in the late 80s, early 90s, at the sort of the beginning of the alternative comedy scene, there were shows in laundromats that people weren't expecting. It's like a stand-up comedy show should not be sprung on you like a ninja. It should be something you know where you're going, you go there. Yeah.
You don't want people held hostage.
Yeah, it's like, what? I'm just trying. Yeah, like bed and breakfast, 4 a.m. It's a stand-up show. No.
That's great.
It's a destination. It should be a destination.
Yeah. People should know.
Yeah.
Coming in.
That's
the
how I see it.
basics.
Exactly.
That it is comedy. Is there any place you've never done stand-up you'd like to go in the U.S. or another country? Or
I would love to do stand-up. I want to go to New Orleans. I don't know if you can do stand-up in New Orleans.
Right.
Because sometimes when it's a city that's so innately fun anyway, you don't need stand-up.
Yeah.
Stand-up works best in sort of depressed places. Pittsburgh is a great place to do stand-up. Detroit would be amazing right now. We used to do a stand-up comedy festival in Aspen, and it was people like, why? I've been skiing all day. I'm in heaven. I'm not upset about anything. You know, it's like doing stand-up during someone's massage. Just leave them alone. They're fine.
So what are you working on? What can we plug right now for you?
I'm working on 2 pilots right now. So I'm not gonna say them until they
Right.
get picked up. One is an animated series, and
In
one
the
is a live
future,
action
we
series.
can plug it in.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
you.
I don't want to jinx it, but
Yeah.
they're both. They're not jobs that I took. They're both projects that I've been involved with for a long time. One is my own idea. One is a new version of an older title that we're trying to rebrand, like Battlestar Galactica, and I'm very excited about them both. So that's a nice, rare thing to be able to work on something that you actually care about.
I'm going to spread the rumor you're doing a new Battlestar Galactica.
It's very close.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by and
My
talking
pleasure.
to us. Have
My
some
pleasure.
great shows tonight.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah.
See you again. We've met before.